Hello and welcome on into another episode of the Renegades Sports Podcast. Jake Gable here along with Jacob Smedley. Jacob, man, depending on where you're watching this from, but we're in Pennsylvania. I'm wearing pants. I'm wearing sweatpants. It's not summer anymore. Yeah. It's fall.
50 degrees again, Jake.
I hate it. People probably watching from Florida just like laughing at us, and there's people, probably in Moscow, probably saying like, what is the sun? What do you mean? So weather, man.
We're at that time, middle of October already. Yeah. Crazy.
But you know what else that means? That means the NBA season is going to start kicking off very soon. And with that, you got to wonder, it's the first thing that comes to mind, who's going to win this NBA title this year?
Yeah. Skip the regular season, skip the playoffs. We're picking at the end of the playoffs.
Fighting for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm not sitting here thinking like, man, who's going to win that in-season tournament this year?
Come on, man. The in-season tournament.
I'm a hater.
Huge stakes.
I'm a hater. But with that being said, Jacob and I both have a sleeper team, an overrated team, and our pick to win the NBA titles. We're basing this off of the odds over at FanDuel. We aren't sponsored, but FanDuel, if you're listening, we would love a sponsor. But we just use FanDuel's odds to show who's favored coming in this season and who might be getting a little slept on or disrespected. So without further ado, we're going to start with both of our sleeper teams. Jacob, take it away.
All right. My sleeper pick, I'm going out to the Western Conference, Jake. I'm going down the list. I'm going down those list of teams. We'll put it up for you as well to take a look. But plus 3,400, I'm going down to Memphis to go with the Memphis Grizzlies. Yep, they were one of the worst teams in the league last year. They dealt with injuries, of course. All know the Ja Morant situation, the injuries that they had last season. It was kind of like, let's see what we've got with these young players. Well, he's back. He's back. Marcus Smart is back. Zach Edey, I think, could turn into a really good player in that draft. The exact player.
Great in preseason.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think he's exactly what they need in that middle as another kind of enforcer next to Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane. You still also have guys coming back off the bench like Brandon Clark, Luke Kennard. I think if this is a pick that you want to, put $1 on, put 50 cents on, just to maybe get a little bit more, as kind of a low buy pick. They're a team that Ja Morant a few years ago when he was healthy almost averaged a double-double in the playoffs. When he is at his best, he can take this team to the top of this Western Conference and compete with some of the Titans in the league. So that's my surprising pick. That's who I, in that lower range, would go with.
I really like that pick. I mean, do I think they're going to win the title this year? Probably not.
It's a long shot.
It's the point of this entire. Exactly. But I do think you could totally see a bounce back from them because they were such a different team and so hurt last year. So yeah, we'll see how they look. But good pick. I definitely think that they could make a run. We saw what they could do 2 years ago when they were fighting for, honestly, a title. For me, I was doing a little bit of research and I might be stretching the term sleeper here, but I'm going based off Vegas. Okay. And so I was doing some research, and I could only find stats from 1985 and on of preseason odds and who won that year and who the lowest odds were. The lowest odds ever coming into the preseason to actually win the title was actually just 2 years ago when the Denver Nuggets won. They were 9th in odds, which honestly surprised me. I wasn't expecting them to be that low. But also, 9th in odds is not that low. I wouldn't really consider that much of a sleeper. So I'm sorry if I'm taking a little bit of
changing the definition, huh?
Okay. But here's the thing. it might be impossible for the Grizzlies because I know they're below 9 because I know that top 10.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to
Rain
ruin.
on my
No,
parade,
I don't
that's
mean
it.
to ruin because I think it is honestly a good pick because that record's gonna get broken at some point. It totally will be.
Yeah.
But I have someone near that 9 range, and I was kind of surprised that they were where they were. I believe they're tied for 6th in the NBA, in the Western Conference as well. But the Dallas Mavericks are tied for 6th, even though they just made the finals last year and then added Klay Thompson. I mean, say what you want about Klay Thompson. He's not the Warriors' Klay anymore.
0 for 10?
Yeah.
0 for 10.
Yeah. But
yeah.
even if you think he's not an upgrade, I don't think he's a downgrade from Derrick Jones Jr. I think you're at least getting the same production. And so I'm looking at a team with, he's really the only change there. If they just made the finals, why are they not my favorite to win the West? You know, of course, there's some teams out there that could compete, but I'm saying, hey, they just made the finals last year. If Luka takes somehow another step forward, if Klay can help them out with the spacing, if some of their role players take steps forward, there were a couple of games of literally winning it last year. I think they could. So, although they might not be the true term of sleeper, if I had to pick someone lower on the rankings, I think the Mavericks have a legit shot of winning.
That's fine with me, Jay, because I know there's a lot of teams. It's a very deep Western Conference, especially at the top with, the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Mavs, the Timberwolves, and of course, the Grizzlies, the Rockets, or some of those kind of younger teams in the mix. I like that too. I think Klay, brings that element of a spot-up shooter because teams are going to guard heavy on Kyrie, heavy on Luka. He has an opportunity to get a lot of open shots that way. Excited for Derek Lively in year 2 along with Gafford. So, yeah, I may not be the definition, as you said, but I think it's a good pick. Yeah.
I felt bad. I didn't want to throw you under the bus or anything, but I was just like, I can't go off the data.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you want to do your overrated team next?
Yeah,
all right.
Let's go overrated.
Okay.
It might get spicy in here.
Okay.
It might get spicy in here. I was surprised this team was this high in the rankings. They were ranked, I believe, tied for 4th in the odds
to
win the title.
Okay, you go, because I think we might be on the same.
Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay.
For clarity's sake, I am a 76ers fan, and so is Mr. Jacob. So it hurts to say this. So it's coming from a pretty unbiased source if I'm dissing my own favorite team. But listen, I think the Sixers got so much better this year, adding Paul George, Caleb Martin, Andre Drummond off the bench. They are better. But if you're telling me they're the 4th best team in the league and they just lost in the first round last year, I think they're totally better. There's a chance that they could be the 1 or 2 seed in the East. But they're not better than the Celtics. They're not better than the Knicks. They just lost to the Knicks, and the Knicks got better. They weren't better than last year's Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
And both those teams improved. I just don't think, if they were in that Mavericks range, if they were like 6th,
bit lower
7th,
down,
8th, then I think it would be worth taking a flyer. But the Sixers are being rated as someone that's expected to almost make the NBA Finals. I mean, if you're in that top 5, that's your expectation. And let's be real, they haven't made a conference finals since
01. 01, yeah.
So, with that being said, I just don't think that the Sixers are someone I'd place money on to win the NBA title. Maybe they make it. Maybe they make the conference finals for the first time, but it just seems like a lot of steps to take.
Yeah, Jake, I see where you're coming from, and that was a team that I was looking at as well. Perfectly spicy. I think we both agree that that team has got to prove a lot of things. Of course, all the additions. I saw a video too the other day where it's like they have made the most changes to their roster in terms of returning players. We'll see how that works out. You can add a lot of talent, but if there's not gelling there, they've got some work to do. So I do like that kind of overrated pick for right now. I'm actually going to go with the team that I think is right there with them in odds, tied for fourth with them, going back out west to talk about another team with a great center, Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. And this is not to bash Nikola Jokic at all. I'm sure he is going to be at the top once again for MVP voting. He is really cementing himself as one of the best centers of all time with what he can do on the floor. My question is the blueprint is out right now for the Nuggets. They're at, go back to the odds, plus 1,100 right now, tied for fourth with the 76ers on FanDuel right now. And my concern is the blueprint is out for Minnesota, how to beat this team with the bigs, with defending Jokic, with forcing other guys to kind of take the mantle. Jamal Murray struggled at the end of that series against Minnesota. How does he bounce back?
He struggled in the Olympics.
Yes, yeah, that too for Team Canada. And also you lose Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who, I mean, while he is not the same player he used to be, he is a very good two-way shooter and defender that's could be a glue guy for that team and going to be needing a lot of younger players to step up in the fold. So that's another team where, with a lot of those good teams like the Grizzlies, like the Thunder, I would kind of put them down and not rate them that high just yet.
I'm in total agreement with you. When you look at teams, if you're trying to see who's going to win this title, look for teams that are either at that point last year and either stayed the same or got better. You're not looking for teams that got worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the loss of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, yeah, he might be, in some people's eyes, the fifth best starter on last year's Nuggets team. He's still a starter that they lost for nothing in free agency, and he was an important piece to that championship team. I think that it's going to be a loss, and they didn't really replace him with anything. They're just moving Christian Braun up from the bench to the starting lineup. Even if he produces at the same level as KCP, you need more than that because that wasn't enough last year. And, I just don't think that they're going to make it to, I think they're going to be a top team in the West for sure. Same with how we said about the Sixers. But, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they're going to be making that title run again.
Yeah. And so, Jake, I'll give my, I guess, pick here that I would kind of settle on that I think is a safe bet to make. And I'm going up to staying in that kind of top range there. Of course, staying away from the Celtics. Right now, they have cemented themselves as the best team in the league. I think it should be a favorite to go back to back, but I'm going to go with the team that sits right below them in the Eastern Conference in a lot of people's eyes. I'm going at the plus 750 number on FanDuel for the New York Knicks. We mentioned we're Sixers fans moments ago, and it pains me to say that, but what they did and what Leon Rose and this Knicks front office did in the offseason, they have built around Jalen Brunson, who cemented himself as an all-pro point guard last year, close to averaging 30 points per game. What did they do? They went out and re-signed OG Anunoby to solidify that kind of 3-4 position. They went out and traded for Mikal Bridges. They went all in, trading all those picks for a versatile defender, shooter who I think can fit back into his role that he had with the Suns as more of a knockdown shooter, elite defender, can defend really 1 through 4 on the field. And you've got called on the court, in the field goal percentage on the court. And you got Karl Anthony Towns in there that, of course, there are questions about his defense, questions about his playoff performance, but I think the shooting that he does can allow a more 5-out offense for Jalen Brunson and a big man that, of course, you've had Julius Randle, but a big man that can be dominant. haven't had maybe since Stoudemire, you would say, that can add that presence in there. Yeah, maybe Porzingis when he was younger, but he was still kind of finding himself out as a player. So this is a team that we also talked about it on this very podcast that can go toe-to-toe with a team like the Celtics. They're a team that's below them. I think if you want to throw a few dollars, I think you could get your money's worth at the end of the season.
I agree with every point you just made there. Nothing really to add on. So I'll get to my point, or not my point, my pick. And the only thing is, I just don't think they're going to win it. And you know what? They're not as good of a value, but at the end of the day, you have to pick the right team. And the right team is the Boston Celtics. I hate to say it, but, you could put every other team at, okay, I won't get ridiculous. You could put every other team at, double, triple the better odds than the Celtics. And that doesn't change the fact that the Celtics are the best team in the NBA. They breezed through the regular season and the playoffs. I know in the playoffs they had an easier schedule because people they were supposed to play had star players getting hurt. But they took care of them. None of the series got deep.
Yeah.
And once they got to the Mavericks, they took care of them. And the Mavericks just took out everyone in the Western Conference. And no change on that roster as well. It's hard to repeat, I know. And am I guaranteeing they win? No. And I think the Knicks might be my second best guess right after that.
That's what I was going to ask you. If you have a team under the Celtics that has another chance.
It would probably be the Knicks. Maybe the Thunder, maybe the Timberwolves got worse. It's tough. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we see a surprise team here coming out of the West, but like Milwaukee, if they can figure it out, but
yeah,
so I just really see the Boston Celtics. You saw what they could do. Their starting lineup's ridiculous. I think the safest bet, and in my opinion, the correct bet is on Boston.
All right, Jake, let us know in the comments who you think one of us had a good pick. Let us know your overrated sleeper, your pick as well to win the 2025 NBA championship. But Jake, we got a fun game that we're going to play. Don't go anywhere. We'll set up our fun game here in a second. Hey guys, Jake and I are in two different places for a special game we like to call a little Sporcle Challenge. So some of you might know Sporcle, the quiz website that has quizzes on all different types of things. Well, Jake and I picked one that we're each going to do, and you're going to see it right up on the screen here. We're going to be in the bottom corner. You're going to see how each of us are doing, and we're going to see which one of us can get the most correct answers, and also see who can get it in the quickest amount of time. It's a 10-minute multiple choice quiz, 9-minute multiple choice quiz, doing some NFL player guessing game colleges. All right, we're going to get going here. It's a 30 question quiz. Let's get started here. We're going to start the quiz. Okay, what college did Tom Brady go to? All right, football. You got Western Michigan, Michigan State, Boston College. Going with Michigan. All right. Easy. All right, what college did DeAndre Hopkins attend? Miami, Florida, Georgia, Rutgers, Clemson. Give me Clemson. There we go. Easy. 2 for 2. What college did Chris Harris Jr. attend? Played for the Broncos. Played for a few teams at the end of his career. Kansas, Kansas State, Texas, and LSU. Oh man, this might be an early stumping here after the first two quick ones. I'm feeling LSU. That's what I'm kind of going with. I know you kind of have to move quickly here with 28 remaining with 8 minutes. I'm going to pick LSU.
We have our first problem. I don't know this, and I'm going to skip it for right now. You have 10 minutes. Okay. What college did Michael Crabtree attend? This is Texas Tech. For some reason, I really remember this, and I think it's because of his, I think it was a bowl game, title game performance. Yes, I got that. LaShawn McCoy, I know this. This is Pitt. Eagles fan, I gotta know.
That was
LaShawn
easy.
McCoy. Ryan Shazier. Oh, man. For some reason, I thought Ryan Shazier went to Pitt as well. He played in Pittsburgh Steelers. I know that. Something's telling me Wisconsin. I'm going with it. It was Ohio State. All right, got my first one wrong. Richard Sherman. He went to Stanford. And yeah, I always remember that for being surprisingly smart. I think we're cooking here. What college did Malcolm Butler attend? I have no idea what college Malcolm Butler attended. It's either a weird one, Western Alabama, Appalachian State, Wake Forest, or Alabama. Did he go to Bama? Do I skip this? No, I'll stay here and figure it out.
Going off of a cliff here. Okay, Texas, Syracuse, Clemson, OK State for Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders. He was a Longhorn, right?
Bruh.
Oklahoma State. Man, I am rough. This is rough. Okay, what college? Randy Moss, Texas A&M, UCLA, Rutgers, Marshall. Okay, Randy Moss seems like a California kid. I feel like he went to UCLA, not feeling Texas A&M, Rutgers. I think it's Marshall or UCLA. He did go to Marshall. Oh my goodness. Man, I'm really struggling. I think Jake is way ahead of me right now. Under 5 minutes left. Eric Berry, Alabama, Florida, LSU, and Tennessee.
Are you sure about that?
He went to Tennessee. Oh man, this is a rough showing. College did Josh Gordon attend? Washington, Michigan, Oklahoma, or Baylor? I don't think Josh Gordon went to Michigan. Did he go to Oklahoma? Did he go to Baylor? I don't think he went to Washington. I'm going to go with Baylor. Okay, back on the right track here. Matt Ryan. Boston College, Miami, Texas Tech. I think I know this one. I think this is Boston College. It is 2 in a row. Michael Vick, Clemson, Arizona.
Virginia Tech. What college did Mark Sanchez go to? He went to USC. Yup. College did Darius Slay attend? I should know this as an Eagles fan. He didn't go to Tennessee. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Florida. He didn't go to Florida. All right. Ole Miss, Mississippi State. One of the Mississippi schools. Going Ole Miss. Mississippi State. All right. Carlos Hyde? I feel like I'd know if he went to Penn State. He could have gone to any of these other colleges. Notre Dame, Michigan State, Ohio State. Michigan. Ohio. Man. What college did Todd Gurley attend? Todd Gurley went to Georgia. I know that.
We bring the boom!
Landon Collins attend? I don't know that. Ole Miss, Alabama, UCLA, Florida. Florida just stuck out when I read it. Florida, Alabama. Dude, I think I'm going to lose.
And, man, got the M schools there in USC. I am going to go with Maryland, Minnesota. I feel like he could have gone to USC. They have had some great wide receivers. I'm going to go with Maryland here. And it was Maryland, went with the check, Tremaine Johnson. Florida, Montana, Oregon, or Rutgers. Tremaine Johnson. I'm thinking Florida here. Florida for Tremaine Johnson. It was Montana. I don't know Montana football that well. All right, little over a minute. 9 questions left. Kareem Jackson. I'm thinking he went to Bama as well. Either that or South Carolina. It was Bama. Okay, 1 minute left. Kareem Hunt, Boise State, Toledo, Ole Miss, and Nevada. I feel like going to Ashton Genty here, under a minute. Boise State, Toledo. Okay, Aaron Rodgers. All right, Aaron Rodgers, he went to Cal, got that right. Quan Alexander.
Wow. Feels like a Texas boy. He's not. He's an LSU guy. Where'd Jared Cook go? Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, Mississippi State. I don't know. South Carolina. Oh my gosh, let's go. All right, what college did Melvin go? He went to Wisconsin.
As you can see, we are back together. Jake, it's some revealing time here. Do you want me to do? Are we gonna do 3, 2, 1 reveal?
I think we have to.
Okay.
Just yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's
gosh,
do it. All right.
I'm so scared.
Okay.
I'm so scared. All right.
Score on 3
Yeah,
once
and
you
then
get down.
Just I don't know if we mentioned,
Yes.
but the tiebreaker, if we do end up with the same score, is going to be how fast we completed it. So
Okay.
hopefully we don't need that,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
20.
18 out of 30. Oh, we got it. Oh, I knew. So disclaimer, as you were watching, I got off to a rough start, and I got 2 in a row, and then like 1 right, 1 bad, and then I had like a stretch of like 3 or 4, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to make up with this at the end. Like I got a stretch right at the end, but I'm like, I'm not confident after this performance. So
I
way to
wasn't
go.
confident either because there are ones that I was there were ones that I thought were layups that we were both getting.
Oh yeah.
And then there are the tough ones, and I felt like every time I guessed, I got it wrong. There's only like 1 or 2 guesses that I got right.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I mean, it was really close, but I was just figuring that you were going to outguess. Was there anyone that surprised you?
Oh, yeah. I think, because I know there was a few that you had, like Ohio State. You had some of those big ones where it's like it went the other one. The one that sticks out to me is the Michael Crabtree one, where you had those 4. I did not get that one. I forgot about Texas Tech. I was like, I feel like he could have been a Horned Frog. So I went with TCU, and now I'm kind of kicking myself about that. But like the ones where it was like the 4 schools like really close together, I think got me. It's like now I'm second guessing myself.
Yeah. Shout out to the quiz creator, really good quiz, but when they were all together, and it was like, oh, these are basically the same school at this point. I was upset at myself for not knowing where Malcolm Butler went, and no idea he went to Western Alabama. And Eric Berry, I thought he went to Florida.
Yeah. And you didn't get Bama on that one, right?
Did he go Bama?
I think it was Bama.
I think it was Tennessee.
Tennessee.
We still don't
yes.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it was Tennessee. It was
Yeah.
Tennessee. I'm getting them all confused. There were multiple schools, the big schools. But Jake, you win. How many seconds though? Just out of curiosity, did you have left? We didn't have a tiebreaker.
I had a minute 14 remaining.
Minute 14. I had 7 seconds. I was doing a lot of
wow.
I had a lot of
7
commentary at the beginning because I thought I would be able to like go through, but I did like commentary with.
There was a point where I got to 5 minutes left, and not even in a race way. I was just like, because I had also gotten some of those wrong, and I'm just like, I'm starting to overthink.
Yeah.
I need to just like, I just need to be like, I still was talking, but just like, when I read them, what's the one that stood out? Like, stop overthinking. It didn't work out that well, but it worked out enough.
Yeah. We'll put that quiz in the description so you can go try it and let us know what you got as well. Go give it a try as well. Like Jake said, shout out to the
Hopefully you do
creator.
it before
us,
or else you'll get a perfect
or
score.
do another one from that creator. Don't use on, go in with a clean sheet. But yeah, that will do it for another episode of the Renegades Sports Podcast. For Jake and Jake, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification for more episodes and shorts.
Yes, shorts. Speaking of them, we can't wear them anymore because it's too cold outside. But we can make them and watch them. And we've been making some, and you can watch them on our Instagram and our TikToks that you see right here. Make sure you go check them out. And you can also see them on YouTube Shorts as well. But that does it. So for Jacob Smedley, I wanted to try to trick you out and see if I could convince you that I forgot your name.
Yeah, you did.
And Jake Gable, this has been the Renegade Sports Podcast. Thanks for watching.